Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ghost. There's a brand new patch out today, patch 1.0.2.0. This is the biggest update that I've seen in a hot minute for this game, and I just wanted to kind of go through it with you guys and talk a little bit about it. Talk about what I think are some of the biggest changes. There's a lot in here, so we're just going to kind of go through it and cover the things that I think are going to impact you guys the most. So scrolling down, this is all available on the escapefromtarkov.com website under news. There's going to be a temporary collaboration event with Escape from Duckov. You guys are going to see this, be able to participate. Players can take part in the in-game in-game task where you have to hunt ducks. I haven't actually loaded and seen this yet, but it's sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Some of the other things that are actually going to impact you a lot. Let's see. Improve the game room startup algorithm to reduce game server launch time. We will continue working to speed up and improve matching in future updates. Listen, this game has been up for a long time. I have no idea what they're talking about here. They don't really say. So just hear me out. These are my personal thoughts on this. The game has been out for a long time, and it is way behind what I would call the industry standard in terms of when you hit like load into a raid or play in any other game, Arc Raiders, Battlefield, whatever. The amount of time it takes for you to get into those matches is so much faster than it is in Tarkov. There's a couple reasons for this, I think. There's probably spaghetti code reasons or server side stuff, but Tarkov makes sure to load you into the raid at the same time as everybody else. So we know in Arc Raiders, you get those fast raid times because they're not pumping everybody in at the same time. You are not actually matching. You're not waiting for people that are around the world or local to you to play in a raid at the same time. That's not what's happening. What's happening is as soon as you hit play, they're going to look for players, and if there's nobody available, they just dump you into a raid that's already going on. I think that's a trash system. I would rather wait a little bit longer to make sure I start the raid at the same time as everybody else, and I can actually, get to the loot, and I know where people are because, knowing where people spawn in or have a chance to spawn in is important. If you spawn in late, then everybody's moved and, your routes are jacked up and you don't really know where people could be. And not to mention all the good loot's going to be gone because people can SJ6 trim it all and they're there right before you. It's a joke. The Arc Raider system to me is an absolute joke. The fact that you can go into a raid with less than 20 minutes left, you can miss up to half. It's just crazy to me. So I don't know what they're talking about here where they lowered it, but that's fine. If they're working on it, I'll take it in good faith that this is awesome. You know what I mean? They see the problem. I hate, like everybody else, I hate waiting 5, 6, 7+ minutes to get into a raid. I like that I can spawn at the same time, but I really dislike how long that takes. I think it should be much faster. We know that another reason this is a problem is because of PvE. People that are new to Tarkov start playing it. Tarkov's been out for years, so you guys are not on the same playing field, okay? So like, somebody brand new, I'm talking brand new, they just buy the game on Steam, whatever, they download it. They're like, oh, cool, everybody's learning the map. That's not true. You got people with 2, 3, 4, up to, I think some streamers have like 20,000 hours in this game, okay? Those people know the angles, they know the maps, they know the loot. It's not a fair playing field. And so those people that are new to the game, they bail. So they get slapped around a couple times. There's a big learning curve, and like if you stick around and overcome that, that's awesome, and you can actually get into those tiers where everybody else is, where they know the maps. You know what I mean? Like Tarkov doesn't hold your hand, which is part of the reason a lot of us love this game. But since they're not holding your hand, there is a big learning curve, and you need to stick around in order to overcome that. You need to like look at maps, pull up maps, do research, watch videos. You need to do that stuff to learn it because that's what's gonna, elevate you to that level where you know where players are, you know the spawn points. Just knowing the spawn points is a big deal, right? Anyway, when all these new players that are joining Tarkov dip, then go to PvE mode, the player base is split in half or worse, where there's a lot of people that just play PvE. And, if you took all those people and put them into the PvP mode, these raid timers would be reduced because obviously there's way more people matching that you can match up with. The other problem is all those people that are brand new to the game are on the same playing field. So hear me out here. All these people that are brand new to the game that know nothing about the maps, that don't know the spawns, the ammo, the armor, whatever, they're all on the same playing field. If they were all on the map together, there's a chance that they're going to come across each other. And despite all the chads and 4,000 hour Andes, whatever. There's a chance these people come onto the map together and they fight. And then because they're fighting people of a similar knowledge and skill base, they're going to get wins. They're going to get W's. And that's going to encourage them to keep playing. Because those people are dipping and going to PvE, this is creating an issue where the only people that are playing PvP are those 2, 3, 4+ thousand hour Andes, or like the very small percentage of the player base that's brand new that wants to actually grind it out and figure it out. Just know, like, yeah, this is really cool. BSG is working on this, but there's a much bigger issue here that they can't control, and it's because they made Arena. It's because they made PvE mode. They basically took their player base and they split it in 3. Because I know people that don't play Tarkov anymore, they play Arena, or they don't play PvP, they play PvE. So they literally split their own player base into 3. So this is good. They're doing the best they can. I would not expect much on this front because of the other issues that we just spoke about. Anyway, a lot of those are my personal opinions, but let's move on. It says they added a visual effect to optical sight lenses. You know what? I would just make a point to check out every optic that you are familiar using. Check it out in your hideout before you go into raids, because they have a tendency to move the goalposts on optics and how they operate. I remember the PK06, like back in the day, used to be amazing. The Valde used to be amazing, but now people hate using it because PSG moves the goalposts and how these optics interact and what they look like when you zoom in and everything. So just make sure you're double checking your optics. Don't be surprised in your raids. This is huge. Improve the grenade throw synchronization to reduce cases of grenade desync. So I was on Labyrinth and I threw a grenade and it didn't go out the door like it was supposed to. It bounced and ricocheted and like it was weird what happened, but it's exactly what they're talking about here. And it cost me the raid, but there's been so many other instances that I've seen that my community in the Discord see where the grenade throwing is just all jacked up. So this is huge. It says improved. It doesn't say fixed, but hopefully it's better. I don't know what this stuff is talking about. AI behavior during looting. I'm not sure if that's when the AI are looting or if that's when you're looting, how they interact. Like if you're standing in let's say you're on the second floor of reserve and you're looting, right? And it makes audio, obviously, and there's AI scavs beneath you. A player would hear you and come up and try to fight you, but an AI scav will not react to the fact that you're looting. So I'm not sure what they're talking about here. It's kind of vague. I guess a poster container is cool. Why not? I mean, you should be putting them up in your hideout anyway instead of keeping them in your stash, but whatever. That's just quality of life stuff. Changing the in-game weather season to spring. This is good. I think winter's fun, and I'm glad we had it, but I prefer the spring, so I'm glad it's switching back. I know this is personal preference, but I'm glad it's switching back to spring. I'm tired of the crunchy snow sound. All right, let's keep going, see what else there is. It looks like they added new customization. So this is some of the more important stuff here. This is a big deal. So balancing changes. They reduced the character level requirement for prestige from 55 to 47. Lowering it from 55 to 47 is a big deal because I was already thinking, what am I going to do when I get Kappa? I'm full of 42. I think I have less than 5 quests left to get Kappa. We are so close. I'm like less than 5. And most of those are like almost done. So what I think is going to happen is that once I get to level 45-ish, maybe I'll have Kappa. So then I'll just need to grind to 47. That's so much better, guys. This is a big deal because the XP required to get from 47 to 55 was enormous. And it was causing people to do stuff they don't want to do. They were farming Labyrinth. They were 5 stacking Labyrinth, which is they're basically cheesing the map where you can get the most XP in. I've seen people just speed run Prestige 6 and stuff like that. Like they're 5 stacking Labyrinth, and then they tell the other 4 people to stay in the room so that the streamer can go out there and kill everything, get all the XP, and I don't know, whatever. To each his own, but like that is clearly indicative of there's a problem with the game, right? You shouldn't have to do stuff like that in order to hit the prestige level. Like you shouldn't have to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's not fun for the streamer and it's not fun for the people watching, or even imagine being one of those people. You gotta go shoreline. It's 5 to 6 minutes to load into shoreline, 5 minutes to run to the resort, 5 minutes to transition to Labyrinth, and then you just sit there. Like that sounds terrible. Like everything about that sounds terrible. It doesn't sound fun. And like this is a big deal because I know a lot of people that weren't even gonna go for prestiging, but now that they lowered it, that's a good thing. in my opinion. Increase the experience modifier when finishing a raid with the killed in action and missing in action status from 0.4 to 0.75. This is a big deal because if you killed like Scav boss, a bunch of players, whatever, and you died, you got like nothing to show for it. You know, we're talking like nothing. So this is a really big deal. It's still like way less than what you get if you survive an extract, but man, it's better than nothing. So it's the experience modifier coupled with this should be a lot better. Let's look at what else kind of matters here. Added the ability to ensure night vision goggles. I know a lot of people like to use night vision, especially if you don't cheese in the game and changing all your graphic settings to make it so you can like see at night. Like the point, you're not supposed to do that stuff. The point of the game is to use your night vision. And so if you are using night vision, good for you. And this is basically allowing you to get those back on insurance, which is good. That's good. Remove the found and raid sledgehammer requirement. This might affect some people. I didn't really have any trouble finding a found and raid sledgehammer. There's a ton of spawns for them, especially on customs. We've talked about that in other videos. So maybe this will help some people who are struggling to find it. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I kind of think that a lot of these come from just, Nikita plays the game sometimes. And those drops that they do sometimes. And you're like, why did I get this stuff in the drop? I don't know if it's true or not, but I like to think it's because Nikita is playing the game and he can't find an elite plier. So he creates a drop or a code for it. And then he's like, ooh, elite plier code on X. And everybody's like, oh, great. But it's really just because Nikita can't find that stuff. It's funny. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't know. It's my little lore for that. So Nikita's been having trouble finding sledgehammers in raids. All right, added the ability to store money in the key card. I don't think that's really that big of a deal, but okay. I don't really know a lot of people that use key cards holders outside of labs, and there's no reason to bring cash to labs anyway, so I'm not really sure what the point of that is, but okay. Reduce the XP gain for killing bots and bosses on Labyrinth. This is a big deal. So this is exactly what we were talking about up here, where people are just farming 5-stack in Labyrinth. This is going to literally put an end to that. It looks like BSG doesn't like that, and they're trying to kill it off and put an end to it. So that's good. That's good. Let's spread the love. Make sure people, play the game normally and they're not doing stuff like that. Good. Again, that's my personal opinion, guys. I know some of this is like subjective and you can disagree or have your own opinion. That's fine. Definitely let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with anything I'm saying, what your opinion are. I love varying opinions. So let me know if you feel differently or think differently. Like, our comment section is open. It's open for discussion. Let's see here. Added new loot points to the school building, the Rust Post Office, Klimov Mall, and the Cardinal Apartment Complex on Streets of Tarkov. This is cool because, honestly, Streets of Tarkov is enormous, but it can feel sometimes like you go to some of these places and there just isn't that much loot, compared to other spots. So this is great. I think in my opinion, Streets of Tarkov is like a masterpiece. It's one of the best maps I've ever seen, and it's so big. So I'm glad that they're adding more loot and spreading it around. We've done videos on ammo spawns on Streets and Reserve, so it looks like they added some new ones, which is very cool. This is also very helpful. Anybody who brings a couple magazines but then a stack of ammo in order to repack those mags in your raids, this is a big deal. Let me see which ones are going to be most helpful. 9x19, obviously. 4.6 by 30 is good. I haven't seen a single person running a P90, so but if you're in the 5.7 P90 world, there you go. It's just because the magazines take literally forever to unpack, repack. You know what I mean? The 45 AVCP is a big one. This is interesting. 5.45 by 39, 5.56, 9 by 39. So these are now we're getting into the biggest ones. 7.62 by 5.1. It was 40. Now I'm sure it's gonna be higher. And your 12 gauge because of the quests that require it. So, okay, so the most popular calibers are going to be hit here. 5.45 by 39, 5.56 by 45, 9 by 39, threaded blackout, and then the 7.62 by 5.1. I'm not seeing 7.62 by 39, so I guess that one is not getting a stack increase, but I wonder what this is. We'll have to take a look. Let me know if you guys check it out before I get in there. All right, moving on. Reduce the overheat buildup speed by 30% for weapons that use the 9x39. This is whatever. The point here is this is the Val. This is the most important one. The Val and the VSS. So this is the big one right here. Vals are back, baby. This is a big deal. If they reduce this overheat, that was causing these things to have a lot of problems. So I'm glad that they did this. Bring back the Val meta. All right, moving on. Some task adjustments now, goals and means. They reduced the minimum distance requirement from 100 to 50 meters. Hunting trip, reduced the minimum distance from 75 to 40. This is a kappa requirement, so that's a big deal. Connections up north, reduce the PMC kill requirement from 50 to 20. So yeah, the only thing here, hunting trip is required for kappa, 75 to 40 meters. That's a big deal, honestly, because I don't know about you, I do not like any quest that tells me what gun I need to do and how far I need to do it from. I don't like those types of quests. I like retrieval quests, go get this item, plant this item, use this marker, single jammer. Those quests to me are kind of cool. They're story building. You know, you have to kill Sturman anyway, and now you have a guy saying, okay, now go kill him from over 75 meters away using this gun with this object. I don't know. I don't like quests like that. So anything that will help me get this done easier, I'm in support of. Trade adjustments, added a new offer. This is actually really funny, and I saw this is actually making a lot of people mad. 5.56 by 45. It's the M855A1 ammo, which, as you know, is good ammo. I think it's third from the best for the basically M4s and HKs and stuff like that. It's for ref level 4. Like, not a lot of people play arena. Okay, so I know like tons of people that don't. Most people I know in my personal life and even professional life don't play arena. So they're locking. This is like throwing a bone to arena players, and they're trying to bait people to play arena, which is fine if you like that. A lot of us just don't, but I think this is dumb to me that you need to buy and play a separate game in order to unlock stuff inside of the main game. Battlefield 6, Clair Obscure, Arc Raiders, friggin' RuneScape, like whatever game, like World of Warcraft, whatever game you guys play, has there ever been a company that said you need to buy a second game that is totally different in order to level up and improve the quality of life in the primary game? No, I can't think of a single example. The only example that I can think of is how they released 2 different colors for Pokemon games, and they split the amount of some of the Pokemon, the exclusives, like half of the exclusives are in one game, half are in the next. That's the only thing I can think of that where a company has done this, where they say you need to buy both or have a friend that has access to the other game and you could trade. BSG doesn't even, they ramp it up by saying it doesn't matter. You need to buy the other one. You need to play the other one. You need to do the quest on the other one. It doesn't matter if you have a friend or anything. You got to get your ref level 4. So if you guys play Arena, there you go. Reduce the purchase price for dollars and euros at traders. This is enormous, guys. This is one of the biggest ones in here. I know this because I just did that quest, Mentor, where you got to turn in 50,000 euros. And that's like 9.5 million rubles. And it's just nothing. It just goes to him and he gives you a couple bolt action points towards Psycho Sniper or whatever. Like, this was crazy, especially for the hideout where you need another 25,000 euros in order to build your solar power. That's another like 4.7 million rubles. So I don't know. This is a big deal, and hopefully this helps a lot of players. Let's go through these real quick. A lot of the fixes. Fix the cases where armor zones and Tequila's welding mask or the atomic defense mask were ignored. Fix several visual culling and shadow lighting issues. That's good. Any sort of visual lighting issue is a huge welcome change, because if anybody ever played old Interchange, they remember how dark it used to be, and then eventually they made it much better. This is a big one. Fixed an issue that caused the game client to freeze after pressing escape during a raid when automatic memory cleanup was enabled. That's a big deal. Fixed an issue where achievement progress would reset after being obtained in certain cases. That's a big deal. I know there's some stuff like that where you would, even quests where you would give like, you'd give Peacekeeper cash or whatever, you turn it in for a quest and then it just wouldn't appear. So I hope they fix that. You'd have to crash your game and restart it in order to see that he actually got the money. Fix the cause of weapon soft locks after weapon interactions in certain cases. That's a big deal. Fix the inability to list ammo packs on the flea market. That's a big deal. This is another big one down here. Fix the aggressive behavior of RUAF bots on terminal towards players previously marked as enemies from the rogues on Lighthouse. This is a big deal, because I know a lot of people would be trying to extract over there, but they might not have known that they were marked as hostile. You're not supposed to be, so this is good they fixed it. These are the big ones. I'm glad they're doing patch notes again. There's been a few patches since 1.0, and they haven't told us what's up, so I'm glad that they're telling us now. There's a lot of big deals in here. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think impacts you the most, or if you have any opinions. Do you like these? Do you not like these? Spoke about the ones that I think are the most impactful. There's a lot in here. The last thing I want to leave with you guys is that this is the stuff that they put in the patch notes. I almost guarantee you there's a ton of stuff, maybe even double, that's not mentioned in the patch notes that BSG just changed and they don't talk about. So look around, check the places you usually check, like experiment with your optics, armors, stuff like that. Like BSG is famous for making changes. They're not really telling anybody about it. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Enjoy the collaboration with Escape from Duckov. Enjoy shooting ducks. I'm gonna be getting my Elmer Fudd on. I'm gonna be loading in with a double barrel shotgun, cowboy hat, hunting ducks. So I hope you guys have fun with that. Don't forget to smash the like button on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new for more Tarkov content. Feel free to join the Discord if you guys are looking to run raids with some people. Apart from that, guys, I'm out. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next raid.